Hello, my fellow humans. We have come to the 5th episode of our Brain Glitch series, and let's get into it.
You lost $3 million on sports betting, meme stocks.
I was living with my parents.
And did they know this was happening?
They thought I had a problem, but they didn't know it was this bad.
If that $60,000 was in the S&P 500, which averages a 10% annual return, it would have been worth $2.916 million.
Yeah, this guy is very intense and direct. Caleb Hammer in the link below. All the videos that I have here, the links are below if you want to look into them more. Okay, so what is our word of today? The sunk cost fallacy. You may have heard of it before. I'm just going to expand on it in reality. The sunk cost fallacy is a cognitive bias. If you want to know about cognitive bias, you can go to the other video over there, which is when someone invests in something and they continue to invest in it even though they can see it's not working out, and it's just because they don't want to feel the loss of not succeeding. So essentially, in a relationship, in a business, or even in gambling. In this example, this person, I don't have his name, I'm sorry. This person was investing in a gambling habit, and even though they were losing because they originally invested in it, they believed that they can recoup all their money. They can just keep going because they'll get the windfall they need to make up for what they lost. And that's the fallacy of the sunk cost fallacy, because throughout that period, he can see it's not working out. He can see he's losing. But don't worry, I'll be able to make up for all of this when I make that win. Even though for some instances it's a good thing, in this instance, unfortunately, our brain has been wired to keep putting good after bad so that we can avoid that feeling of loss, that pain that comes with realizing that all that I have put in is gone. Before we proceed, a word from our sponsors. It's me. I'm the sponsor. So, I am a clinical coach. I help people who are going through a transition in their lives, or who are trying to achieve things in their lives, or they're going through a transition and they feel that they're struggling, whether they have some anxiety or they feel like they have depressive moods, if they have insomnia, maybe some phobias, maybe they have, whether they're trying to break an unhelpful habit, whether you're feeling just stuck and you maybe want to have some renewed sense of direction, I can help you with that. You can go to my link below in the description to get to my page. It also has more about my credentials in there as well. Feel free to reach out to me. Don't go through it alone. Whether you're overthinking it, maybe you're not thinking about it enough, maybe you just need some outside perspective and you need someone to just bring some things to your attention that might help you to move over the hump that you're struggling to get past. Reach out to me and we can go through this together. Let's look at another example.
We got this baby for only $800.
How do you start this thing?
Well, basically, you got these two wires. You simply just. There we go. It started.
Okay, so we just broke down.
We're on the freeway. I'm going, and all of a sudden, the shifter decides to limp out on me. So,
Oh, dude.
I know.
So this is another example. Buying a really old car and thinking, don't worry, I'll fix it up and make it like it's brand new again. So as you can see, the problem in this example is that essentially the car is too finished. It's too broken. It's at the end of its life. And the amount of money that they would have to put in to make the car at least in working order may be the same amount they would have paid for a car that was probably, I don't know, 5 times more than that. I don't know cars. 5 times more than that. So in the end, what they thought they were trying to save by investing, it's going to cost them even more, because the most basic thing in the car, okay, probably not the most basic, one of the most basic things in the car is not working, the gear changer. If you're liking my videos, please don't forget to subscribe, to like, and comment, and share.
Is it possible to win from a rigged claw machine? Here's what you want to look for. How full is the machine? If it's at or above the edge of the plexiglass where the prize box is, That's a good sign. And also, you want to go for prizes that are near the edge of the prize chute. This will better your chance for a win. We're going to go for this pink Care Bear here. Now, we're not necessarily trying to pick up the prize. We're just trying to get the claw to pick it up enough to just flip it over the prize chute. And that's how we do it in one play.
In this example, you've probably seen the claw machine. You put coin in and you use the claw to try grab anything you want in there. But most of the time, as easy as it looks, honestly, a lot of the time these games are rigged so that you have to put in more money to try again, and you keep trying. It's so easy. Look at it. It's right there. So you try, and it gets to a point where it's like, I put so much money in, and now I have to get it because the amount of money I put in is worth at least one bear or whatever they have in these machines. So you're going to keep trying until you either get one or you give up. But that's part of the brain that is saying that I've put so much time and investment in this. It could even be just saying, oh, people are looking at me. Oh, this girl is looking at me, and I must not look stupid. So I've invested time and energy, and now I must not look stupid. I must look like I knew what I was doing. So the sunk cost fallacy, from my perspective, is not necessarily just about money and time. It's also about how you're perceived. And since you've put all this energy into looking like a macho person, I'm going to get this teddy bear for you. Now you don't want to look like a fool.
Right, let's get straight into it. Hi, welcome to the video. My name's Anna, and I did 3 years of biomed and I dropped out. I studied biomedical science in university. I basically didn't get into medicine to be a doctor, so I did biomed because it was the next route. Thought that I was going to see that through, and I didn't want to do it in the end. I hated it. I knew in the November that I was in the first year of uni that I hated it, and I stuck it out because that's what everyone told me to do. But then I finally grew some balls and made my own decision.
Okay, so here's another one that people don't really think about. Investing in their education. We have been told that we need to invest in our education because it's going to be the foundation we use to get a job. And at times we gravitate towards the degrees we feel will be more likely to get us a good job. With the sunk cost fallacy, you're spending time putting money into something that is supposed to be worthwhile, supposed to be your dream, so that you can see it through to the end. The amount of money that is going into this dream is so much that you have to wake up in the morning and justify why you're putting the money in every morning. And if you wake up and you can't even stand what you're putting money into, that can cause some other psychological and mental concerns. In this instance, she got to her 3rd year and realized, no. She has this conflict between the pain of losing the money that she would have invested in this degree and the freedom of lifting this burden off her shoulders and deciding that, no, I can't do this. And before we move on, shout out to Peter Muanula 7142, who correctly noted in my change blindness video that I was not wearing the price tag on my clothing in the beginning of the video, but that came out later. If you want to see more about that context, you can see the video over here.
Her repeated decisions to air their private struggles under the banner of speaking her truth has consistently placed Will in uncomfortable defensive positions.
4 times Jada Pinkett Smith shocked the world about Will Smith. First, the entanglement with August Alsina. Second, she admitted she never even wanted to marry Will. Third, she called Tupac Shakur her soulmate. And fourth, revealing their open relationship to the world,
ultimately leading people to not respect him and deeply affecting his professional standing, and I think to, probably a large extent, crushing his spirit. Jada has said that she never really wanted to get married and later talked about crying as she walked down the aisle.
Is the craziest rumor that Will and I are swingers. That's the craziest.
Wasn't that kind of recent, actually?
No, it's constant.
Really?
And I'm like, yo, I wish.
Damn.
I wish.
A year later, Jada started her show Red Table Talk, which basically became a venue for discussing intimate details about her marriage.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Uh-oh, Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
I'm going to, okay?
I'm really shocked because, mind you, I'm not there. We haven't called each other husband and wife in a long time. But I'm like, what is going on right
keep
now?
my wife's name
out of your
Yes,
mouth,
yes,
right? And I'm
yes.
like, but now I'm really worried for Will because I don't know.
I did not cheat on Will Smith, no matter how sad he looked at that table.
So she essentially said that she admitted publicly to cheating on Will in order to protect him.
And I'm like, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to speak my truth, but I'm also gonna protect you. So if I gotta look like the adulterous wife to make sure you're good, I'm gonna do it.
So this video on Will Smith and his marriage to Jada Pinkett Smith is basically compiling the series of exposures about the relationship between the two. And it seems that a lot of the information is coming from Jada. And I don't know the truthfulness of what is in the news and so forth. So I'm really just going to rely on the videos that I have found from Jada's side and Will's side directly. The reason I've included it in the sunk cost fallacy is because my theory is that there were signs before they got married, including this one, where they maybe should not have chosen a life together. And that's where the sunk cost fallacy comes in. He may have felt like, I've spent enough time with her, I've invested so much in this relationship, it makes sense for us to just see it through marriage as well. And throughout the marriage, that might have been what was being fallen back on. I've put so much investment in this, I should keep going, we are a couple, we have united, people know us as Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith, and when people hear one, they expect the other. This has become our identity, and essentially things just keep piling up to the point that the pain of separation would be too much, so let's just keep going. This is something that you may have heard of in a relationship you've seen before, or even in your own relationships, that you've invested so much. It may be money, it may be energy, it may have been getting the person to be who you want them to be. So you say, oh, this person is cleaner now because I have invested in them. This person is better at spending money now because I've invested in them. This person looks better because I've spent money and helped them to be a better version of themselves, essentially. So you don't want to leave that and let someone else reap the rewards of your effort. Now, something to consider when you're looking at the sunk cost fallacy. If you're experiencing it in your life, there are some things that you may need to ask yourself to get yourself out of it. Part of the problem with this approach is that you keep looking back. What I have spent, what I have done, what it has cost, the investment that I've put in. And that keeps you in that loop of, no, I have to keep going because I've put so much in. But to break this, you need to think of the future. You need to look forward and think, how much longer am I actually going to do this? How much? I'm not happy right now. Am I going to keep going even though I know that I'm not happy? What am I willing to put more into this to see that this is going to come to the end or to the fruition that I want it to? Am I going to keep going like this for 10 years? Am I going to keep going for 15 and 20? What happens if I am still where I am in 10 years? Am I really willing to go through that? If you are, okay, that is your choice, but that is something you have to be honest with yourself about. Another thing that I also think needs to be considered is knowing what I know now. Would I have made this investment? And I'm talking about relationships, I'm talking about cars, businesses, even going to the movies. The movies is probably the simplest one to relate to. Going to the movies, you spent £15, I'm assuming. I don't know how much it is these days. And you decide, wow, this movie is bad. Are you going to walk out and not waste your time watching it? Or are you going to see it through? Now, if you are going to watch that movie and you knew what you knew during that movie, that it was basically going to be a waste of time, would you still make the investment to go? That is a truthful way to decide about what you're investing in. And it's not an easy one, it's a truthful one, because it helps you to be honest with yourself about whether what you're doing is actually going to be worth the fruitful outcome. If the fruitful outcome is not going to come as close to the time you expect it to, and it's not going to be worth as much as you might think it will be. For example, the movie. Let's say you do watch the movie. You spent £15 and the movie is okay. Are you okay with parting with that £15 for an okay movie? If you are, okay, then that's fine. But if you go through that movie and you spend £15 and it was beyond terrible, are you going to be okay with not only having spent £15 but literally wasting your time watching something and even your emotions watching something that was just not worth it? Unfortunately, Will Smith and Jada's situation is an example of how this might look. I say this because you can see consistently how the relationship is being broadcasted, and of course that would not help with Will Smith's self-esteem, especially since people know his business basically. Now, knowing what he knows now about how this relationship has gone, would he have chosen to invest his time, energy, and effort into trying to make it work? Here is a short video that may test your own sunk cost fallacy.
The sunk cost fallacy. Which way would you go? Let's say that you find an all-you-can-eat $5.99 buffet. Would you go in, help yourself to generous portions, stuff yourself until you're absolutely full, and leave only when you're not able to eat anymore? Or would you go to an all-you-can-eat $12.99 buffet, eat maybe 2 plates of food, and leave content with what you've eaten?
Okay, so write down in the comments which way you went. Just to summarize, the sunk cost fallacy is our brain's way of basically trying to keep us from pain and heartache, and it's trying to protect us by keeping us going through something, investing energy, effort, and time just to prevent that pain. And even though you are seeing the signs that it's not working out, even though you can see the signs that maybe I should stop, the brain is wired to make you keep going. But there are ways you can stop this. There are ways that you can even question yourself about whether what you're doing is worth it. And you can do that by asking you questions like, if I had known what I knew now, would I have done this? And also, how long would I like to keep going like this? If you're happy, all good. But if you're not happy, ask yourself how long you're willing to be unhappy for. If this doesn't come to fruition in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, is this something that I'm willing to keep doing? Is this the trajectory that I want to keep going through? If you're able to be honest with yourself, you may be able to save yourself the heartache down the road. In the meantime, this is Elizabeth Malumba with Cognitive Shift Coaching.